At one moment, humanity stood at its peak. The next, it was frozen in stone. Thousands of years later, a single genius awakens with the plan to bring civilization back from zero to the way it was. This is the story of science, survival, and ambition. This is Dr. Stone. What's up everybody, Civ Senpai here, and today I'll be reviewing Dr. Stone, a story that takes science and creativity to the next level, priding itself on it and its characters meshing well together to deliver something entertaining for all to see. So let's dive into this review and see what makes Dr. Stone so awesome. So let's kick off this review with a quick summary of the anime. Thousands of years ago, a mysterious flash turned all of humanity into stone, instantly freezing civilization in its tracks. Fast forward about 10,000 years later, where nature has reclaimed Earth in its entirety, and miraculously, one genius finally awakens from his slumber. Meet Senku Ishigami, a scientific prodigy with one goal: rebuild humanity from scratch. Armed with nothing but his knowledge of science and an unbreakable will, Senku begins humanity's greatest experiment, starting from zero. From creating fire, glass, and medicine to rediscovering electricity and communication, aka radio waves, Dr. Stone turns every scientific breakthrough into a thrilling milestone. But it's not just nature standing in the way. Ideological conflicts emerge, especially with the powerful Tsukasa Shishio, who believes the new world should belong only to the strong. What follows is a battle not of fists, but of brains. Science versus strength, progress versus purity. As allies are revived and the kingdoms are formed, Senku races against time to uncover the mystery behind humanity's petrification and bring the world back to life. Well, that's at least the first 3 seasons of the anime. Season 4 has a more of a brains versus brains battle, where again another 2 ideals clash. One wishes to take over the world with his knowledge and power, and the other wishes to restore humanity to the way it was and continue to advance science for the greater good. But behind all of that is the mysterious Y-Man, whose plans for humanity and for Earth itself are currently unknown, but will be uncovered in the final season of Dr. Stone, which is currently airing, if it hasn't already finished, by the release of this video. That was probably the best summary I could give without spoiling too much. So with that out of the way, let's get into what I like and dislike about the anime.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
But before that, real quick, if you like what you're seeing, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. It really helps let me know what types of videos you guys want to see. Alright, back to the video. Now keep in mind that this is a fictional story, so not every single science experiment that they perform in this anime will work in real life. But it's the thought and creativity behind these experiments and how they create things with the resources that they have and that would normally look impossible to do. There are many examples of this, such as when Senku built a car, a cell phone, GPS, and in the final season, he's currently teaming up with Dr. Zeno to build a freaking spaceship to go to the moon. Now obviously building a spaceship is not something that's easy to do, right? But it's just crazy to think that they're doing it. Then again, this is anime, so of course they're gonna somehow pull this off. The reason why I keep mentioning fiction is because you can find videos on YouTube where, some scientist or whatever, or person who knows a lot more science than I do, breaks down these videos and, answers whether or not these experiments or these inventions could be made in real life using that same process or not. But as I said, the creativity to build all these things with primitive materials and not having, the technology to be able to mass produce it or build some of the things on more efficiently is what's more impressive and what pulled me in to the story. Then we got the characters. Let's start off with the star of the show, Senku Ishigami. Before being petrified, as in turned into stone not being scared, Senku was a high school student in a school whose name I forgot, though that doesn't matter as much because the school basically gets maybe 4 minutes of time in the show as far as I know. Anyways, Senku is smart. He's always been. But he's not just smart, he's also curious, always having had an interest in science, even as a kid, when he tried to make a miniature spaceship. Well, being the genius he is, he's also the lifeline of humanity, and his mind and intellect are constantly put to the test, yet he finds a way to make it happen, but not alone. He's got a big crew of friends to support him, so let's go over a few of my favorites real quick. Taiju is one of 2 or 3 muscleheads of the group who's admittedly more bronze than brains, but is also the kindest person in the story. Ryusui is the son of a patriarch who the gang meets later on, has blue fingers, and also happens to be a pretty good leader on Senku's side when Senku is being busy being engrossed in science, or just being another authoritative figure to kind of help lead the group. Tsukasa, another big musclehead with brains, starts off as the big bad, believing that only the strong, pure, and primitive nature should stay in this new world. He hates technology and warfare until Senku makes him understand that technology is needed in the new world, in this world, such as penicillin. I mean, it's literally a godsend. He's not only strong, but very smart, having no issue speaking his mind, while also having a commanding presence in the story, being almost like a general or right-hand man to Senku when he eventually joins up with Senku. That greatly aids the team of science, especially when they have to go up against other threats. You also have his right-hand man, Hyoga, who's basically Tsukasa's right-hand man. And finally, we have Zeno, the penultimate villain of the story, who is currently cooperating with Senku, as mentioned earlier, in confronting Y-Man. But what happens afterwards remains to be seen. Oh, and there's also other characters in the story too, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna move on. All the characters in the story play a key part in making the story what it is, and in aiding Senku in doing what he's able to do, otherwise he would not be able to accomplish all the things he has. And finally, I would like to give credit to the world building in this anime. Yes, it's Earth, but it's an Earth from back in time, essentially, or an Earth that is just overpopulated or overcrowded with vegetation, having no, industrialization ever happen. And seeing how the crew of science traverses the different countries while trekking through vast lands and dealing with the animals that are there and the vegetation, all this because of no industrialization, as all humans were petrified, not just Senku. The setting basically looks really spectacular, as you can see. The only complaint I have about Dr. Stone is with its pacing, in the sense that even though the anime's been out for only 7 years, it feels like it's been a while for us to get to this finale. Which is crazy because it only has around 70 to 80-ish episodes at the moment, which isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, but I believe why that's the case is because for these 7 years, it's been running almost every year if you think about it. Season 4 has 3 parts to it, and part 1 and 2 actually ran in the same year, if I'm correct. I believe the reason why it feels this way is because for most of the season's run, Senku spends a lot of time in Japan, where he was before the petrification, going head to head with Tsukasa before they begin traveling around the rest of the world in Season 4. So it feels as if they're speeding up the pace in Season 4 in order to catch the reader up or catch the viewer up with the story, which makes sense because they need to confront Y-Man at this point and save the world. I know it says Final Core, but with how episode 1 and 2 has been going, they will need to fast forward through quite a bit, at least the anime, because I'm fairly certain that Zeno is going to clash with Senku once Y-Man is dealt with, considering that he wants to rule the world while Senku wants to save it, and who knows how many episodes out of 12 that will take. I guess we'll have to wait and see, unless you read the manga, which I didn't, so yeah. In the end, Dr. Stone stands out as a rare kind of anime, one that makes knowledge feel exciting, without losing its sense of adventure. It doesn't always get the balance perfect. The heavy explanations and occasional leaps in logic can pull you out of the experience, but what it does right, its creativity, optimism, and relentless curiosity more than makes up for it. Watching Senku rebuild civilization from the ground up isn't just entertaining, it's genuinely inspiring. It reminds you how much of the modern world we take for granted, and how incredible human ingenuity really is. So whether you're here for the science, the strategy, or the fun cast of characters, Dr. Stone delivers something memorable. It may not be for everyone, but if it clicks with you, it's the kind of show that sticks with you long after you've finished it. When you finish it. And with that, that's my review of Dr. Stone. If you enjoyed the breakdown, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, and share your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Peace.